The episode Fátima y Sueli se apavoran como amiga de despejo encapsulates the heart of Tapas and Bejo's friendship, under pressure humor, born from adversity, and the emotional chaos that comes with trying to stay afloat in a city like Copacabana. From the very first scene, the camera lingers on the narrow shop corridor filled with wedding dresses where Fátima and Sueli argue over unpaid rent while simultaneously attending to an impatient bride. It is an atmosphere saturated with irony and absurdity. The glamour of white dresses coexists with the dull anxiety of overdue bills. This contradiction drives the episode's entire emotional engine. The threat of eviction becomes a metaphor for the instability of their lives, not just economically but emotionally, as both women face crises of independence, love, and identity. Fátima, ever the impulsive dreamer, sees the landlord's warning as a personal affront, while Sueli, the more cautious one, treats it as another test in a long list of bureaucratic hurdles that life throws at her. Their reactions reveal the delicate balance between idealism and pragmatism that defines female resilience in the series. One of the most fascinating aspects of this episode is how humor works as a coping mechanism. In the middle of despair, the two protagonists still find room to joke, to laugh, to plot absurd strategies for survival. When they consider hosting a garage wedding sale to raise money, the scene becomes a miniature theatrical play within the show, complete with slapstick timing, exaggerated gestures, and bursts of laughter that mask genuine fear. The laughter does not cancel the drama. It gives it shape, rhythm, and dignity. The cinematography reinforces this emotional tension by keeping the camera close to their faces, almost claustrophobic, reflecting the lack of space both physically and metaphorically. Even the warm pastel lighting of the shop contrasts sharply with the shadows that appear every time someone mentions despejo. The visual composition constantly reminds us that these women are living on borrowed time. Another layer worth exploring is the social commentary hidden beneath the humor. The episode exposes the precarious conditions of small business owners, especially women in a city driven by tourism, consumerism, and volatile rent prices. The landlord is not a caricature, but a mirror of a system that values profit over relationships. When he appears to collect the debt, he brings with him not only authority, but also a kind of coldness that embodies the market logic of the new urban Brazil. In response, Fátima and Sueli resist, not through rebellion, but through solidarity. They rely on each other to reconstruct meaning in a space that constantly threatens to disappear. As the episode progresses, small gestures accumulate a shared sandwich, a hand on the shoulder, a moment of silence that says more than any dialogue could. The brilliance of Tapas and Beijos lies in this ability to merge comedy with pathos without ever tipping into melodrama. It shows that laughter can coexist with panic, and that friendship can be both a survival strategy and an emotional revolution. Personally, I find this episode deeply reflective of the Brazilian middle-class struggle, particularly among women who carry the double burden of emotional labor and financial instability. It reminds me of stories my mother told about her own workplace in the 1990s, where every month's rent felt like a deadline for existence. Watching Fátima and Sueli scramble, argue, make up, and laugh again is like revisiting those small acts of daily heroism that go unnoticed, yet form the fabric of survival. The final scene, in which they manage to temporarily appease the landlord through a mix of charm luck and theatrical persuasion, is not a resolution, it's a reprieve. The danger remains, but so does their bond. The closing music underscores this with a bittersweet melody that captures the essence of the show. Life is messy, unpredictable, and funny precisely because it never gives you time to breathe. Through this episode, Tapas and Beijos reaffirms that even under threat, joy and humor can be revolutionary acts.